guys, it's Amy. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're all having a wonderful day as always. So before we even get into anything, if you guys could please do me a huge favor and like and share this video. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe also. These are the best and easiest ways to help out my channel. Now we're going to get right into this story today. This is Medina Ulloa, a 24-year-old man from Honduras that recently came into the United States illegally and committed a heinous crime. He murdered this man, Francesco Cuellar, in a violent stabbing in Cuellar's own home in Arlington, Florida. Apparently, the police were brought in after Medina actually texted one of his friends telling him that he had actually killed someone, at which point the police showed up and they found Medina roaming around near the lake covered in blood, which led to a trail that went back to the living room of Cuellar's house, and that is where they found Francesco Cuellar's body. The police then conducted a search warrant on the victim's home, and they found video surveillance of the living room where they had found the body, and it showed Medina stabbing the victim numerous times and repeatedly hitting him with a chair. They then went back to the woods where they had found Medina, and they also discovered a knife with blood on it. Then we get even more crazy situation in which we find out that when he was originally arrested, he told the police that he was 17 years old and that his name was Raynel Alexander Hernandez. It wasn't until a few days later, on October 13th, that they got the correct information of his name and his birth date from the immigration department. To recap, he gave this information to police on October 7th, that he was a minor of just 17 years old and his name was Raynel Alexander Hernandez. And on October 13th, through immigration, they learned that his name is actually Yuri Noel Medina Ulloa, that he's 24, from Honduras, and he is a murderer. As a juvenile, he was originally placed in the Duval Regional Detention Center, but when they found out that he was 24 years old, he was booked into the Duval County Jail. He is currently being held on an immigration hold without bail, and they are seeking first-degree murder charges for the death of Francesco Cuellar. Now, we don't know the relationship to Cuellar or why he was staying with him, but it is strange that when he texted his friend, he told him that he had killed Uncle Francesco. We don't know if that's his uncle. I'm going to say that it's probably not actually in relationship to him and that it was just someone letting him stay with him. But this is where it gets even more crazy. And some of the reason why I don't believe that this is actually his uncle. Because this story doesn't end there. It doesn't end with a murder of this man in his own home, which is an absolute horrible, horrible thing. But this continues out into the rest of our lives. And that is because, as I said earlier, he was an illegal immigrant. And he came over just recently. He actually came over through our borders and said that he was a minor, also stating that he was 17, and also giving an inaccurate name. And because he said he was a minor, he was actually given some special treatment based on the Biden administration's new policies about our borders. He was actually given a place to stay for a bit and then given a summons to appear and let into the country. But the question is, how was he let into the country, and how did he end up in Florida? This question is being asked by several people, and there is no detail in the arrest report about how Medina got into the country or into Jacksonville. But his jail listing does say that he's been in Jacksonville for 2 months now. Someone that is asking why this man ended up in Florida and was able to kill one of their citizens is Governor DeSantis. He's not happy with the immigrants that are being pushed through his borders and shipped around to the states. And his thought on that is that if President Biden wants to keep sending illegal immigrants to different states, then he'll just send them over to his Delaware. Clearly, it was made as a joke, but at the same time, if this is really going on, and it seems to be, then we have a problem that we need to figure out. And it looks like people are being picked up and brought in on late night planes. But the question remains, how did this man and many others get into Florida as illegal immigrants? And we're learning the answers. Last month, the New York Post did a story about late night flights that were relocating minors, unaccompanied minors, who came into the country illegally in Texas to other states. The article says one flight came into Jacksonville and that the young people aboard were then taken on to New York. But then there are other people who have witnessed these flights in Florida and say that they're actually looking more like a bunch of men in their 20s, not minors, which is interesting considering that this man was in his 20s but said that he was 17 years old and therefore a minor unaccompanied. And apparently, Francesco Cuellar's daughter has said that she believed he came in on a resettlement flight, which is what we're talking about here. What DeSantis has been mentioning, the flights that the Biden administration has been sending out in the middle of the night. And I also had said that I didn't think that he was actually related to his victim. And that's because apparently about 13% of children who were released from the government custody in August, just a couple of months before he was here, went with people who were either distant relatives or not related. The government usually checks for documents to prove the relationship before they send them to a family. However, things are changing. So, do I think he ended up on one of these flights? Yes, I do. Do I think that he was sent off to live with somebody he is not related to? Absolutely. And DeSantis said there's no notification to the state of Florida. These are done mostly in the middle of the night, and it's clandestine. And we really have no say in it. When we initially got wind of this, it wasn't through normal channels. It was people in the federal government effectively leaking this to us so that we would have a heads up. And thank God for that. So this is a crazy situation where lots of people are coming in through the borders illegally. If they came through by legal means, I would think that was fine. But there is millions of people now just coming through because our administration has asked them to just come on in. And then they are potentially some violent people. Not all of them, but this is a clear case where this man should not have been in our country. He should not have been in Florida, and he ended up killing someone. And if you don't already know this, it may be shocking for you to hear. As ridiculous as it sounds that there's these late night airplanes coming in and dropping off illegal immigrants so that other people don't know about it, it's actually true. We've been hearing about this for some time now. I know I have, but it seems to be the case. Even Jen Psaki answered a question that Peter Dooley had asked about these planes coming in the middle of the night. And she made kind of a joke about it because she couldn't answer it very well and said, well, maybe the plane time is not as early as you'd like to take a flight. But she didn't say no because, well, I don't know why, because clearly we know she knows how to lie. But not getting into too many politics here, I'm just going to speed right past that and just show you what she said.
Yep, go ahead, Peter.
Thank you, Jen. Why is the administration flying thousands of migrants from the border to Florida and New York in the middle of the night?
Well, I'm not sure that it's in the middle of the night, but let me tell you what's happening here.
2:13
It is our
a.m., 4:29 a.m.
well,
very early in the morning.
Here we are talking about early flights, earlier than you might like to take a flight. It is our legal responsibility to safely care for unaccompanied children until they can be swiftly unified with a parent or a vetted sponsor, and that's something we take seriously. We have a right obligation to do that and to deliver on that. As a part of the unification process, our Office of Refugee Resettlement facilitates travel for children in its custody to their families or sponsors across the country. So in recent weeks, unaccompanied children passed through the Westchester Airport, which I think is what you're referring to, en route to their final destination to be unified with their parents or vetted sponsor. It's no surprise that kids can be seen traveling through states, not just New York. It's something that we're also working to unite children with their family members or vetted sponsors in other parts of the country as well.
Yeah, we have these people coming in illegally, and then there's murders that happen from these illegal immigrants, and it's just really a problem that needs to be dealt with. And, the governor of Florida is really upset, and he's really trying to figure something out here. So that's it for this video. I'm hoping I don't get too much hate mail, hate comments, because I'm talking about some political things, the immigration. But I think people are just starting to fight for the wrong things and not caring as much about people that have been living in America and are now having a lot of problems. So I'm thinking I might upset some people, but everybody's already upset enough as it is. So what can you do? I will be back soon. I'm probably going to have to talk about Kyle Rittenhouse so I can get some more people angry with my opinion and my comments. But I definitely am going to want to talk about that case and the verdict and what have you. So that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and of course comment, as long as it's nice. And I'll see you next time. All right, thanks guys. Bye.